In this video, I want to give you an example of using variables in a date formula. We're going to process an estimate to create the work orders for this job, and we're going to use this project quantity here as our variable to decide if we should add extra hours for wait time for finishing. In this case, I've called the variable quantity template type. To set up the variable, you go to Settings, Options, and right here, on any of these quantities, replace NA with the description that you want. We'll go back to the work order tab. I'm going to go ahead and populate some work orders from an estimate. So I'm going to go to my estimate, and here as an example, I've got 4 different groups that are going to be finished casework and 4 different groups that are going to be pre-finished casework. So the idea here is that we're going to create finishing tasks for the finishing department here, and we're going to add some extra days for dry time for these 4 that are finished, and we're not going to add the extra days for these pre-finished casework. And we're going to do this with that variable we just looked at called template type. So I'm going to go ahead and right click the estimate, and we're going to choose process. This will open up the process estimate window. I'm going to change the templates here. This first one's finished, so I'm going to put it on one of these finished casework and install. So maybe we'll just leave that one on template 4. This next first finished one we'll put on 3. It's the same thing. It's finished casework, except for this one we're not going to install it. We're going to sub out the install. So we'll just go ahead and choose 3 for the rest of these. And then for the pre-finished work, I'm going to put it on one of the first 2 templates. There again, this is not going to include the finishing task, and it's not going to include the extra wait time for drying parts. So I'll choose, in this case we'll say we're going to install the front desk, but we're going to sub out the install on the others. So this will just be template 1, pre-finished casework. And now that I've set these, I'm going to go ahead and we'll just process this. Okay, so it looks like this is finished, so I'll go ahead and close the process estimate window, and we'll go back to our project. Okay, back over here on the project form, we can see that we have these 8 work orders created for us. And there again, these first 4 are exactly the same products, exactly the same amount, sizes. The only difference was the template that we used. On these first 4 we used a template that would include finishing, the other 4 we didn't. So we're going to go ahead and just set the delivery date for all of these to be the same date for all these work orders. We'll just choose a day out here in maybe the last day of January. And this is going to calculate our start production date, which will then calculate our materials order by day, and it'll calculate these start and due dates for all of the tasks for all 8 work orders. Okay, looks like this is finished. We can see now that our delivery dates are all the same, and we have different start production dates varying off of the formula. And I want to take a look at 2 of these work orders that are the same, with the exception of finished versus pre-finished. So let's look at this workrooms. We see their start production date is the 10th of December for the finished, and for the pre-finished is December 24th. Part of that is because of the extra labor, but a lot of it is because of what we told it in the formula to add some extra days for dry time. So let's take a look at that formula. I'm just going to right click it and hit set formula. This is the formula that's driving the behavior that we demonstrated here in this video. Now there's quite a few ways of doing this. This is just one example, but this can fit many applications where we use a variable in a custom formula. So what this formula is doing is it's taking all the budget hours for all our departments and operations and storing them in a variable called total days, and then we're saying if template type equals 3 or 4, which if you remember our template types, we had them 3 or 4 were the 2 templates that included finishing. So if it's one of the templates that includes finishing, the result will be total days plus 10. So we're going to take everything from our budget hours, we're just going to add 10 days on top of it. If it's a template without finishing, so a template that's not 3 or 4, then we're not going to add the extra dry time. We're just going to leave total days, which is which is the sum of all of our budget hours. So just in closing, let's go to settings and just take a look at these work order templates and show you how we're setting the value of the variable. So here I have the 2 that were pre-finished, 1 and 2, and then the 2 that were finished. And the way I'm telling it is just by using this quantity, that one that I showed you at the beginning of the video. We have template, and then here in the template we can give it a default value. So for 1 you'll get 1, for 2 you'll get 2, for 3 you'll get 3, and 4 you'll get 4. And you just set that here in the template.